Good morning. If you're already here, welcome. Is this feeling a little bit more normal these days? It kind of is for me, except for just daily things to deal with. So this is the chair practice. If you are not aware, this is a chair yoga today. And the only props that we use are the chair itself, and then you may want a yoga strap or a belt, a tie, a dog leash works really well as well, or those stretchy bands that you might have gotten in physical therapy. And when we go to standing, you can always stay and remain seated. You don't ever have to come up to standing, or maybe you're not able to. So I want you to be able to practice, and that's why I add a lot of arm and head motions in, mudras or hand positions, so that you can also stay in the practice. So I made a couple more minutes, I think. Just one more minute. Just getting comfortable in your seat and starting to tune out whatever you might have just been doing. And I might just put the question out now, if you are at all wanting the practice to be a little earlier in the morning, maybe you can comment down below in the comments of this post, or you can email me or text me. All of those contacts are down below. If you want this practice to be earlier, maybe like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. If you are happy with the time of the practice, also let me know that as well, so I know. And what else? That's it. Let's begin. All right. Getting comfortable in your seat with your feet on the floor, whatever surface they might be resting on. We'll start to find mindful movement with our breath. So as you inhale the next time, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. And when you're ready to exhale, let them roll back and down. So we have the full length of your inhale with the rise up, and the full length of your exhale with the dropping down, releasing. One more time. Eventually letting the shoulders drop away from the ears to rise from the shoulders. Eyes can be closed or open in a steady gaze, whatever helps you to tune in to your body and your breath, and tune out to the distractions. That embodiment practice as we notice the ground coming up to support you at perhaps your feet. Maybe you can sense where your big toes are and your little toes and your heels. To the sensation of the seat below you, your thighs, your sit bones. Just take a moment to notice if you feel equal pressures on both of those sit bones, or just one feel a little heavier. Feel that slight heaviness, you might rock side to side, or just make little adjustments, maybe to pull the flesh out a little bit. And if you have scoliosis, you might notice that pressure is going to be always different, and you might have already figured out to put a cushion on one side. From there, we're going to rise up as though each vertebrae, each part of your spine was getting a little bit more length between the next, until the top of the head rises, and then the chin just rests in very gently, ever so slightly. So get that length, and then just soften a little bit. You can stay tall, but not be rigid. Start to notice the sounds of the room, or maybe the absence of sound. Sensation of the air flowing in and out the tips of the nostrils. You notice The temperature on the way in that's drifting to the back of the throat is a bit different than the temperature that's heading out to where the nostrils hit the upper lip. Start a practice of alternate nostril breathing, and you can use your hand, or I'm just going to take us through the imagined version. So the next time you breathe in, imagine air flowing up the left nostril. It's going to horseshoe around the top of the nasal passages, and as you exhale the next time, out the right nostril. The next time you breathe in, up the right nostril. Horseshoeing over the top, and the next time you exhale, left nostril. So that's one round. We're going to continue 3 more rounds. I'll keep the count, you just breathe. Inhale up the left, exhale out the right. Inhale through the right, exhale left. It's just an awareness. You're going to be breathing through both nostrils, but you can sense that one is getting a little more air. 2 more rounds. One more round if you're on my count. So the next time, just let go of the breath practice and breathe in and out through both nostrils. Notice how you feel. Did that make you feel calm or something else? So you know that's a practice you can come to if it makes you feel good or calm, that you can use that throughout the day. All right, let's bring the palms together, or maybe you keep them in your lap. This is our intention setting time. How are you going to show up today towards yourself, towards each other, towards the planet, or something that includes all 3, like abundance or contentment or gratitude? If the palms are not already together, let's meet there in the middle. Spreading out the fingers to the best of their ability. Thumbs may be touching your heart space or your center chest space. Elbows out, just rising. Full breath in and out here, a little bit of pressure in those hands. Move through a little bit different than maybe we normally do. So we're going to point the fingers forward. We're going to push the air out and away. Turn the palms up and lift to the sky. Always move in whatever feels best for your shoulders today, and then we'll meet back in the middle. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, point the fingers forward. Turn the palms out. You're moving through something viscous. Turn the palms up, lifting, inhale. Palms meet in the center, exhale. One more, just like that. We'll be back in the center, and we're going to go the opposite way this time. So we're going to rise up. Turn the palms out, push the air down this time. Turn the palms forward, meet in the center, and pull it back in. Good, 2 more. You can practice meeting the hands in the middle without looking at them as a way to hone your balance and your inner awareness. In. We'll meet in the center, 1 full breath here. Find ease, clasp the hands, and we're starting our figure 8 or infinity sign here. Whenever you reach the center of that figure 8 again, pause, and then we'll head the other direction. Center and pause. I'm going to keep the hands clasped. exhale, round out the head, maybe drop, round out the shoulders, maybe drop the head. And then we're gonna flip the hands if that feels okay. If it doesn't, don't flip them. We're inhale, rising up. And then exhale, reflip them, draw the hands to the belly, lift the chest, open up the shoulders. Begin again. So let's see, we round it out first. Gotta remember, I switch this up sometimes. Flip the hands, rise up, inhale. Good, exhale, come back down, hands to belly. When you inhale next time, open up the chest. Last time, so we're getting a little cat and cows in here, if you didn't notice. Inhale. Great. And we'll be back in the center. You can make any little adjustments that you need. Great. Let's take the left hand down to the side of the chair or your left thigh. We're going to reach the right arm up and over. I'm going to let my left shoulder drop out of the ear, send my right sit bone down to the seat. Maybe gaze down to the left. You can certainly have that right hand on your hip or thigh, but still into that side bend. One more breath, find length. Exhale, we'll meet back in the center. Rock to the right side, so take hold of the right side of the chair, reach the left arm up and over. Maybe take that gaze down to the right as your right shoulder drops out of the ear. One more breath. And then we're back up at the center. All right, roll out, shake out. Let's head into our hula here. So it does maybe help to be a little bit scooched forward towards the front of your seat. We're gonna head over to the left sit bone first, and then forward towards the front of your seat. So you're kind of untucking your tailbone. Over to the right sit bone, and then back towards the tailbone again, so that you're kind of tucking the tailbone a little bit. And this becomes a little bit of a cat and cow too. Okay. And we're going to start to make it a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller until we meet back in the center. Pause. And then we're going to head to the right this time first. So right sit bone, forward, left sit bone, back. Kind of like you're tucking your tailbone a little. Pelvic motion, or the ability to separate hip, spine, and pelvis, becomes really important, especially as we age. Something that I see kind of get fixed as we age, and so if you can keep that mobility, it can be really beneficial. Okay, let's start to make it a little bit smaller and a little smaller until we come back to center. All right, do a little bit more head motion, and then we'll go into our legs a little more. So let's take the right hand over the heart space. Again, just putting the hand over the heart has a really beneficial effect for your hormones, your oxytocin connection. As we sweep across the right chest, look out to the right, and then we'll sweep it back across, connect with your heart, look out to the left. So maybe your inhale and then your exhale, reach out again, slide across the chest, gaze out. You can also do this with a bent elbow rather than straightening it. Okay, next time out, we're going to hold it there. Take the right hand now to the side of the chair. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Inhale. And take that hand to the outside of your right thigh or hip or knee. So we're going to do a little bit of a rotation here. As I got that hand on that thigh, I'm actually pulling my left shoulder back. So you'll feel a little bit of stretch maybe in the upper neck, shoulder blade area. One more breath. Great, and then we'll be back in the center. Okay. Make any little adjustments. And then we're going to connect your left hand now to your chest space. Not quite your heart because it's a little off left. We're going to sweep out. Inhale, open out. Look out to the left. Slide across, look to the right. Connect with your heart if you can. Two more. Next time out, we're going to hold that arm out there. You can keep the elbow bent bent if that feels better. Inhale. Exhale, take the left hand to the outside of the left hip. Take the right hand, reach the right arm up. Inhale, and now take it around to the outside of the left thigh or knee. So again, as I'm in that twist, my right shoulder is drawing back. Maybe one more breath if you're still with me. Great, and then we'll be back in the center. Make any little adjustments. We're gonna grab your strap now if you have one. The belt works well, of course. Okay, we're gonna take it around the ball of your right foot. Send the right foot out so that your heel's on the ground and your toes are up. And the left knee also comes out, but it's bent. You're gonna sit up tall. It does help to be a little scooch forward to the front of the seat if that's available to you. And sit up tall and then do a little. Why is it always a little? It's a side bend. So opening up the shoulders, we're gonna gaze down to the right, take your hand down to the right, left hand down to the right. We're gonna sweep that arm up and over. You're painting the sky. We're gonna head back and over, gaze down to the right. Bend that elbow, pull the shoulder back, bow and arrow. Two more. Move with your breath. You can always bend that elbow too. It does not have to be long. I'll show that version. The next time the elbow comes back into bow and arrow, extend that arm all the way out. We're going to keep the gaze down to the right this time. You can always keep that left elbow bent a little. Keep reaching through the heel of your right foot. One more breath. And then exhale, use that strap to help pull you back up. Swing that leg back in, make any little adjustments that might feel nice before we switch to the other side. So take the strap around the ball of the left foot, swing that leg out, right leg steps out, knee bent. If you don't have a strap, don't worry about it, just put your foot there. Okay. Sit up tall, we're gonna bend into that left side. Take your gaze down to the left, take your right hand down to the left, and we'll start to paint the sky. And then we're back across with our sunset. Turn the palm up, draw the shoulder blade back, and then dive it through again. Two more. Always moving with contentment wherever your body feels nourished in this moment. Last one. Good. The next time we come back into bow and arrow, we're going to draw that back, extend that arm out to the right. Keep your gaze down to the left. So again, we're getting maybe some stretching into that right side neck. Bend the right elbow if you need to. We're here for one more breath. Exhale, use that strap to give you a boost back up. Come back to center. Okay, make any little adjustments. We'll set the strap to the side for the moment. So let's do, set ourselves up for warrior two. We'll take the right leg out. This time the foot's more or less planted on the floor. Left leg also comes out, knee bent again. We're gonna start in the center, elbows out, palms pressing, fingers wide if you can. Just give a little stretch to your palms. Start to move through this, fingers facing forward, glide across the pond, gaze out to the left. And from here, we're actually going to do a little something different. We're going to reach to the sky, inhale, maybe gaze up, push the air back down, exhale, we'll slide across, and bring it back in. If this bothers your shoulders, just don't reach so high. Here we go. They say if it hurts, don't do it. Good. So you could be reaching from the elbows and that could be your lift, okay? This time we're going to pause here in Warrior Two, gaze out to the left. Turn your front palm, face it up, take the back hand, slide it down the back leg, and reach to the sky. You're either looking forward or up towards that hand. You can also bend the elbow too. Doesn't that feel just very similar? Right? It doesn't matter if your arm is reaching or it's bent. It's just really a movement of energy with your body. This is an upward flow. One more breath. We're back to Warrior Two. Slide across that pond, and we're going to pull it in for one breath to rest here. All right, beautiful. So if we go to standing and we go to Warrior Two, that's your position. Okay. All right, let's shake out, make a little adjustments here before we head to the other side. Send the left leg out. Right leg is also out, but it's bent. Here we go, sitting up tall, start in the center. Swing the palms forward or slide it out across, you're gazing out to the right. Turn the palms up, we're lifting to the sky. Elbows are bent or straight. Turn the palms out, push the air down, back to Warrior Two. Slide across the pond, meet in the middle, and back to center. Okay, we got two more. Gazing out to the right, reaching to the sky. Back down. Slide across and meet in the middle. One last version. Rise up. Back down. This time we're going to pause here in Warrior Two. Turn the front palm, face it up, take the back hand down the back leg, and maybe reach to the sky. You could look up towards that hand, you could look forward, you could bend that elbow, reach through the fingers. It does not matter. Keep sitting up tall, press through the feet. One more breath. We'll be back in Warrior Two. Arms either reaching or bent. Slide across that pond, palms meet in the middle. And we're here for one breath. Let's help those legs in. Make any little adjustments, and then we're going to find wisdom pose or child's pose. I didn't preface you with a block, but you could have one or something between your legs if you are not able to go all the way to the floor. But this might be your stop point. This might be your stop point with something between your legs to catch you. Or you could go down to the floor at your feet. Wherever you've chosen, full breath in, let your bellies expand. Exhale, mouth open, maybe a ha sound. Like the ocean spray coming in. One more if you're still with me. You're ready to rise up and you're not already there. Start to walk your hands slowly up. Your head's the last thing to join you. That's just so you don't get a head rush and maybe get dizzy. All right. We're going to move into standing if you're able to and would like to. Again, you can always stay seated, or if you need to, stay seated. Feet about hip width apart if you're joining me in standing, or even if you're not. We'll all meet there. I'm going to start to hinge forward from the hips. Keep the chin slightly drawn in. Hands could be to the chair, the thighs, or they could be free. Exhale, rise up. If you're not rising up, at least make that action and squeeze your glutes. Back behind the chair, and you might want to join me there. You may not need it. Okay, let's send the feet out a bit wide, so about maybe the width of the chair, a little wider. Okay, let's come into starfish. Now, if starfish feels more comfortable holding on, you can stay holding on. Otherwise, arms reaching or elbows bent. We're going to inhale. Lift the chest, maybe lift the chin. On the exhale, palms down. If moving the head makes you feel dizzy, just keep it straight forward. If you're seated, you just obtain the same position. Last one. Okay, Float the arms back down. I'm going to take hold of the chair in front of me with my right hand and reach the left arm up. If you don't need to hold on, you don't have to. I'm going to gaze down to the right, and then we're going to come back up, exhale. I'm going to hold onto the chair with my left hand and bring my right arm up. Gaze down to the left. This is otherwise known as seaweed. You can make your seaweed look a little bit more like we do in-person class. Last one. All right, come back, make little adjustments. We're going to heel toe or step those feet back into about hip width apart. Again, your hips are these bones here, not the fleshy stuff. So be in line with those front hip bones. I'm going to turn my chair to the side. You don't have to, unless you need to do it to be able to see me. So my feet are about hip width apart. If you are able to, spread those toes out. If you're in seated, you're just coming to seated mountain pose. Same thing. All right. I'm going to go through the flow of poses. You can join me if you already know these. Otherwise, watch for the first round. I'm going to float the arms up. You can always stay holding onto the chair at all times. Good. I'm going to sit back into chair pose. You'll see I'm sitting back. I'm not tucking under. Not very attractive, also not very functional. You'll never make it to the chair if you do that way. Good. Inhale and then exhale, rise up. Float the arms down by the sides. We meet in mountain for one breath. So just those few poses. Rising up, in breath. Sit back, chair pose. Pause here. Exhale, rise up. Inhale. Exhale, arms float back down. Good. One more. Exhale, rise up. Inhale to reach. Exhale, we float back to center. Good. We're going to shake off those shoulders. Make any little adjustments. And I'm going to position myself so the chair is off to my right. Right. So let's toe plant the, we're going to step onto the left foot and either toe plant or lift the right. You want to work on your balance. And even if you're offsetting your balance a little bit onto that left side, it doesn't matter. You're still working on your balance. Hand could be on the chair, could be hovering the chair, or you could let go if you feel safe enough. One more breath here. You're still with me. And you're going to gently press that right foot forward. And so now you're into that bit of a lunge position or triangle pose of your legs. We bend into the front knee. We're going to reach the left arm up. Maybe the gaze goes up. Drop that hand down and gaze down. If that head motion or even the eye motion makes you dizzy, just keep the gaze forward. If you know it feels safe to let go of the chair, you're welcome to let go. The thing about being at home is that you can have furniture around you to catch you, so you could even be next to a wall and do this. You want to challenge your balance. Next time we reach up, we're going to meet there and hold. Soften the arms a little bit. You can add a mudra in, so index finger to thumb, middle finger to thumb. I'm off. You don't know what your body is doing until you have a camera and you can look at it. One more breath if you're still with me. You can bend those elbows if you'd like. We're going to push the air back down. Good. Step back. Shift, make any adjustments. We'll meet in mountain pose for one breath. All right. Let's take your right foot towards the chair. So my right foot is pointed towards the chair. The left foot is parallel to a line on the floor, or if you're using a yoga mat. And we're going to start here in triangle pose. So we're going to reach the left arm back, the right arm forward, and start to intentionally lean towards the right. Now I could have this back arm bent, or you could even have it on the hip. You have choices of the front arm being on the chair or on your thigh. And you can even hold on to the chair. I know not all chairs have this perfect kind of alignment where you can use that. Okay, we're here for one more breath. Keep pressing through the toes. One more. And we're gonna rise back up. You're gonna bend that front knee, and I'm gonna buttress it against the front chair. That can be my balance point. Let's reach the left arm back. And if you feel comfortable reaching the right arm forward, you may. If you're looking at the screen, slowly start to take your gaze out towards the right. Let's turn the palms up, soften the elbows a little bit, and cup the hands for 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down, straighten the knee for just a moment. We're going to go back in here though. Exhale, bend that front knee again. You're going to sidle up to your chair either with your forearm or your hand, a little bit more of a side bend here. Take your gaze down to the right and your left hand down to the right. And we're going to paint the sky. Kind of like our sunrise sunset. So if you're in seated, you go to that same pose. Out to the left, you can bend the elbow, you put the hand on the hip. One more breath if you're still with me, always knowing you can come out before I say. Good. Let's plant that left hand on the hip and you're going to use the chair. Exhale, push back up. And we'll heel toe or step it in. Make any little adjustments. Meet me in mountain pose, one breath, seated or standing. Find our downward facing dog. Again, you can use the top of your chair, the bed of your chair, maybe you have some other furniture. Like if going to the chair is too low, you can always be maybe on a bookshelf or a kitchen counter. So another benefit of being at home. I will just use the chair that I have here in front of me. You find the spot that feels best for you. So you'll see that my back is flat, my knees are a bit bent. My head's in line with my arms. Breath here. Bending the knees, you're going to start to walk forward so my back stays flat as I start to come back up. Head's the last thing to join me at the top. All right, I'm going to turn my chair around. You might not have to do what you need to do to shift it to the other side. Now I'm going to take weight onto the right foot and toe plant or lift the left. So I've got my fingers on the chair. And you're just lifting that left leg as much as it feels comfortable and safe today. Challenge yourself, but be safe. One more breath. Step that left foot forward, right leg maybe back a little bit. We're heading into our warrior two, so if you're in seated, you're just going to offset those legs just like I am. And then we're going to rise up with the right arm, maybe gaze up. As you bring the arm back down, straighten the front leg, maybe gaze down. If you know you're safe enough to bring those both arms up, you're welcome to do. Holding just for observation purposes. Next time we meet at the top, we're going to hold it there. So you're either reaching the right arm up and the left arm holding the chair. You can reach both arms up. You can bend your elbows and just reach through the fingers. Doesn't that feel nice too? It's just this upward flow of energy. It doesn't matter if you're reaching long or short arms. One more breath if you're still with me. And then we're going to meet back in the center. So the feet back, maybe shake off, find any adjustments. Meet me in mountain pose, one breath, seated or standing. All right. I'm going to step step the left foot towards the chair, step the right foot out. So the toes are pointing towards the chair. You might need to walk that front leg forward a little bit, moving forward towards the screen. And the back foot is roughly parallel to a line beside you. Let's reach the right arm out. Take the left hand to the chair or your thigh as we're intentionally leaning towards the left. I have a hyperextender of my knee. If I just let it drop, you can see that kind of reverse curve there. So I have to actively bend my knee a little bit, press through those toes. This hand, back hand could also be on your hip too. One more breath if you're still with me. We're going to bend the front knee as we start to traverse the arms back down. So buttressing that front knee on the chair could help with a little bit of balance. And then take the right arm out. If you feel safe enough, take the left arm out. If you feel safe enough to slowly start to take your gaze out towards that left hand. We'll flip the palms, bend the elbows a little bit, and cup the hands. One more breath here. Take the right hand, left hand back down, reach the right arm up, and an exhale, release. I quite honestly forgot what I did on the other side, so I'm sorry. It's just gone. Let's take a rest here. I think this is what we did. We're going to bend in, side bend off to the left. So I'm either buttressing my elbow or forearm on that side of the chair, or you can keep holding on. We're going to gaze down to the left, take your right hand down, and then we're going to paint the sky. Rise up. Reach that right arm out. Keep long and open, chest line. From center out is spacious. You can also bend that back elbow. One more breath if you're still with me. Good. When you're ready, we're going to exhale, rise up. Release. And then we'll heel toe or step it back in. I think that's what we did. Go ahead and shake off any adjustments. Find mountain pose, one full breath. Let's take our time. I forgot we didn't do tree on the other side, but let's do tree here and then we'll flip around for the other. So your chair side leg is going to be your standing leg, which is your left leg. You're going to offset, open up that knee out to the side and stop wherever your hips end up still facing forward. I'm going to enter a seed pod, half seed pod. If you feel comfortable letting go, please join me in the center. You can start to grow your branches out. I don't know, I'm going to be kind of a cactus today. Cactus with little flowers catching the water. So you be your own tree. If that means roots are down to the left chair, you can. Notice if you're putting more weight in your heel, and if you are, try to very gently take your weight a little more to the midfoot. One more breath if you're still with me. And we'll come back to center. Find seed pod back in the middle. All right, and ease out those legs. Find mountain pose, one breath to reset. All right, I'm going to flip my chair. You might not need to for your chair pose. Tree pose. You can be next to a wall too. Walls make really good support systems as well. So, or maybe your chair is really sturdy and you can kind of lean into it. But whatever you can try, just try to do it a little differently than you normally do. Right foot is your roots. Start to roll those lower branches out with your left knee. Got a half a seed pod here. Maybe you've got a full seed pod. Maybe your branches grow. One grows, the other one doesn't. Let's say the top one grows up, the bottom one grows down. And notice if you're putting more weight in that heel, that standing leg, or can you find a little bit more midfoot, front foot pressure. roots. Take off a little bit, and from your tree become a mountain. Strong and sturdy. Alright, wonderful. I'm going to set the chair back to prepare for sitting. So if you want to come back in a yogi way, feet about hip width apart. The hands can be on the thighs or they can reach out into chair pose. You're going to sit back, draw your chin in, and exhale slowly down. Make sure that chair's behind you, please. Alright. Comfortable so that your feet are on the floor or whatever surface they might be on. You're going to take your strap back in if you've got it. If you don't, that's okay. Just put your leg in this position. I'm going to go with my right foot first. It really doesn't matter. It's just your foot. You're going to scoot to the front of the seat. And that'll help that hip crease meet. Toes are coming towards you, heels spreading away. You're going to sit up tall. And then maybe you're hinging forward. I'm going to show this from the side. You stay right where you are. Keep that back of the spine tall, especially if you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, just trying to avoid a rounding of the low back. What can you let go of? Maybe your jaw, your shoulders, your eyes. One last breath. Hopefully not your last breath. And be back up in the center, exhale. Go ahead and slide into the other foot there with the strap. And again, if you don't have a strap, just put your foot in that position, that leg in that position. And she's down. All right, heel going away from your toes, going towards you, sitting up tall, and maybe hinging forward. Sometimes, just sitting up tall is quite enough. You're not seeking for pain. I don't know if everybody wants to seek for pain when they stretch. It's like if it doesn't hurt, you're not doing anything. That's not true. If it's hurting, you're probably scaring your nervous system to tense up even more, training it. All right, relax your jaw, your eyes, your shoulders, find ease. One final breath in this pose. And we'll exhale me back up in the center. And let go of the strap. And we're going to find our thread the needle or pigeon figure four, however you like to do it. Right foot over left thigh, or I guess it's your ankle here, left thigh. If this is not available to you today or in this lifetime, just do a little crossover. Sit up tall, and again, just chin drawing in a little bit as you start to hinge forward from the hips and stop whenever it becomes no longer nourishing. Might you be able to find a little more ease in your shoulders, your face, your eyes. One more breath, if you're still with me. Exhale me back up in the center. You can cross that leg all the way over if that's available to you. You can do a few. Just instinctively, I wanted to do some ankle circles with my right foot. So if that feels good, you can do the same. One more breath as we're opening the chest here. Exhale, we'll be back in the center. Uncross if it's not already. Make any little adjustments that might feel good before we meet on the other side. Left ankle to right thigh, if that's available too. Otherwise, do the crossover version with the floor. Sitting up tall, maybe hinging forward. Sometimes just being up tall, I'm telling you, is enough. About finding that contentment, that sweet spot. Your next exhale, just let your shoulders ease, your face, your eyes. No more holding or gripping. Didn't mention this on the other side, but if you have pillows stacked up under your seat, your chair sits a little bit low, that's a really nice way to make this a little more accessible. One more breath. Rise back up to center, let that leg cross over or uncross it if that feels better. Take the left hand to the outside of the left thigh, reach the right arm up, inhale. Exhale, we're turning to the left this time. And using that right arm to give me some leverage to open up my shoulders. Find some ease here. An ankle circle. Like I knew I did something else on the side. If you feel like you want to do ankle circles on your left foot or ankle, you can. If you're in the crossed position. One more breath. Exhale, meet me back in the center. Make any little adjustments. Oh, we still got a little time here. What else could we do? We didn't really do any side bend next jump, so let's meet back in the center. Your inhale starts here. Head in the center. On your exhale, let your right ear drift to the right shoulder. Let your shoulder drop away from the ear. When you're ready to inhale, we meet back up in the center. And your next exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Give you one more to each. Back up in the center. This time we're going to do a diagonal look down towards your right hip. So you start with an inhale and then your exhale, gazing down towards your right hip. Keep your left shoulder back. It wants to come with you, I know. Meet back in the center. Inhale. Next exhale, over towards the left hip. Keep your right shoulder back. Good. One more to each. So each inhale meets you back in the center. Back in center. All right, any little adjustments. Let's open up let's do a child's pose. That's what we could do. Wisdom pose. I felt like I was running behind, but I was right on time. All right, so this could be your child's pose. You don't have to go any farther. If you want to use a block or something between your legs, a step stool, or you can certainly go to the floor. I'm gonna go halfway here. Full breath in, let your belly expand. On your exhale, mouth open, that ha sound. Back of the neck relaxes. One more breath if you'd like. When you're ready, let's start to rise back up, walk yourself back up your legs, and your head's the last thing to join you. Finish with a little opening and hug for ourselves. We're going to sweep the arms open, gather it all up. Exhale, cross one arm over the other, wrap around. Full breath in and out. Look down, see which arm is on top because you're going to be switching the arms. When you're ready next time, inhale, open. Exhale, cross the opposite arm over. Give yourself a hug. Full breath. Inhale to open. Back in the center, palms together, fingers spread wide, elbows out. Full breath. Just where we started. Make any last adjustments that you like, or if there's anything that your body just wants to do before we head into relaxation, please indulge before we set back in. If you're ready to head there, move into your spot of your best choice. You can be in any of your comfy chairs. I like to lift the feet up, and again, the reason for that is just takes a little pressure off the back of the thighs that might be there if you're, with your legs down. But use a pillow or an ottoman or the block. Palms can be down, or maybe they're clasped and resting on your belly. I'll take us through a brief guided relaxation. We'll rest for some quiet, and then you'll hear the bells chime 1, 2, and 3. That does not mean you have to burst right out of your seat. We're going to slowly come out together. We'll finish with our mantra, mudra, and gratitude. All right, eyes closed or open in a steady gaze, your choice. Start to let go of those thinking, planning, worrying muscles of the face as we smooth out the skin of the forehead. Soften the space between the eyebrows. It gets broader, softer. Eyes heavy, out to the temples. Join to the jaw, releasing space between the teeth. Shoulders dropping away from the ears. Whole body supported behind you, below you. Each time you notice your thought train starting over again, you can just let the thought drop without judgment, without thinking about it. Just drop it. You bring your awareness back to wherever you feel your breath moving in and moving out. Maybe the belly or the nose or the chest. Instant mindfulness. You have nowhere to be and nothing to do. These next few moments are yours. breath becoming a bit deeper, more conscious. Maybe feel the belly expand, the ribs, the space around the heart, and a slow, steady exhale. How slow can you go? If you haven't already, starting those mindful movements that you enjoy. I always take you through some, you don't have to do any of them. I think it's from the tips of the fingers with the thumb, as though you're recognizing your fingerprint for the very first time. Things we take for granted. Maybe a curl in or squeeze at the fingers and toes, and a tensing of the body on an inhale, and on the exhale, release. It's called progressive relaxation. Maybe rolling the wrist and or ankles. Maybe rocking the head side to side. Or a cat stretch or a dog stretch, never partial. Before beginning to move yourself back into a more upright position if you're not already there. Just in your transition, just recalling your intention for the day. How is it that you were planning to show up the rest of today? We're going to find our mudra of the week, which is Apan mudra. Apan mudra is a downward flow of energy. And I always say these with the caveat of you need to try it within your own body to know how it makes you feel. If you do it and it doesn't make you feel that way, maybe that's not the mudra for you in that particular moment, if that's what you're going for. So this one is, it looks like the rock symbol, but it's less aggressive, okay? And we're not gonna make that face. So you're gonna bring the the middle finger and the ring finger in, and then touch the tips of the fingers. So the tips of the ring, middle, and thumb are all touching. Pinky and index are held out, and then the hands are just resting in your lap. Yeah, a little less aggressive than that rock and roll symbol. Eyes can be open or closed in a steady gaze, your choice. Soften the shoulders out of the ears. And notice how this mudra makes you feel as you start that breath practice that we found in the very beginning. That slow, intentional inhale through the left nostril. Exhale through right. Inhale right. One more round. We'll go into the mantra. You can continue that breath practice if you like it. If it's distracting while I go through the mantra, you can let it go. Keep the hands in mudra here though. May I be free from inner and outer harm and danger. May I be safe and protected. May I be free of mental suffering and distress. May I be happy. May I be free of physical pain and suffering. May I be healthy and strong. May I be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Upon mudra, we move to gratitude hands. So whether that be palms together and said so many names, prayer hands, Namaste, Anjali, gratitude, or one hand over the heart and the other one over that. Bowing to a place within you where you recognize that gratitude, to acknowledge at least one more thing in your life to be grateful for today. Very long, but we'll send this gratitude out, offering it beyond the walls that you're in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Palms meeting in the center and holding on to that gratitude real close, at least for the rest of the day. Once to seal the deal, you may join me from home. I'll hear your vibration. This is a really powerful way to tune in and tone the vagus nerve, your calming sense. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Slow breath into Om. Om. Lips apart. Namaste. To the moon, to the sun, to the earth, and to all of you, thank you so much for being here and taking care of yourselves and each other. Keep up that strength. Again, just if you're happy with the 10:30 time, just comment down below. Just let me know that that's cool. Or if you'd like it at 9:30 or 10, comment there. Don't just say earlier because that doesn't really mean much to me. So be specific. All right. Thank you so much. Peace in. See you next time.